Today we're gonna make biscuits and gravy. First thing we start with is lily white flour. A lot of flour is used in the South. It just makes for a really fine, fluffy biscuit.
Yeah.
One of my tricks with this, and actually making pie crust, biscuit dough, anything where you're using the fat and the steam from that fat kind of as the leavener in that, is to take and use frozen butter or lard.
Tip alert, tip alert.
Yep. So take your butter, freeze it so it's rock hard, and then take your box grater, and you're gonna shred that and get these nice, beautiful shreds of butter.
Yes.
So I like to do a mixture of butter and lard. Butter gives it that flavor, and the lard, that silkiness. Yeah. It's lard. So then we're gonna take in some baking powder, baking soda, a little bit of salt, sift that all in. We're gonna kick it up a notch with some bacon. Why would we not?
Bless you. And bacon is love.
Some sharp cheddar cheese.
It should be a 4-letter word, just like love, because it's good.
Some chives. And then once we get all that mixed,
they're mesmerized. They're like, uh-huh.
So we're adding in our butter, our lard. It's frozen, nice little sheets. Once we get that all mixed in, we're gonna take our buttermilk. And then another trick there is always have that as ice cold as possible. That's not gonna melt your butter down.
Cold, 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 cold.
You want this mixture to be cold. We're gonna incorporate that. Once that gets all nice and incorporated, which takes a little while. We started a batch back here, obviously, our TV magic. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on our cutting surface. And then flip that biscuit dough right out onto the counter.
Like, it's ridiculous. Crazy.
So the biggest thing with these is we want to get those nice fluffy layers, and we're going to want that fat and lard that's layered in there.
Because the pieces are in there.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to take this like you'd do a laminated dough, like a croissant, like anything like that, and continue to fold, press, and work this over. My key is about 8 to 9 folds you're going to want to get in that. You times that by how many times it's been folded. I'm horrible at math. That's a lot of folds. So after that's been folded 8 or 9 times, we're going to roll it out into about an inch, inch and a half, and then cut these as big as you want. You were saying that ours are huge.
They're almost as big as my fat head.
Well, Rachel, in the South, they call them cat head biscuits.
There you go.
Because they're as big as a cat's head.
They're as big as a cat's head.
So, I mean, if you don't have to make them a cat head biscuit that big, but I think you should.
Well, why not? Why not?
All, I love just calling them cat head biscuits. That's so fun.
Greased cookie sheet. We're going to throw that in the oven at 350. Let those bake.
Tom gravy, baby.
Yeah.
While that's happening, we're going to move over and make gravy because it's biscuits and gravy. So over here by Chef, we have some bacon, some ground pork, a little bit of onions. That's rendered down, and that fat is what we're going to use to make our roux to thicken up our gravy.
Sure.
We're going to hit that with a little bit of flour.
I was just reading the blurbs on the back of your book. You have some really famous people.
Including you, Chef.
Well, Rachael Ray.
Including Rachael Ray. Thank you, guys.
AZ, start the egg for him. Start the egg.
So are we frying?
These are, yeah, Chef. We're going to do some nice sunny side up eggs that we'd love to put on top of this. So while I finish the gravy.
That's another great tip. You just put a lid on it, literally. Those are our silicone lids, but you can use foil or any lid from any pot. They go real quick, and you just take a lid off when you're happy.
So many tips and tricks today. So I've hit that with a little bit of fresh thyme, fresh rosemary, and some salt and pepper. Our roux is formed from all that bacon fat that mixed with the flour.
Dang!
And then another tip, we're gonna take our cream, but we're gonna wanna get that hot so it's the same temperature as this, so that way you're not dropping the temperature down. It's gonna thicken up quicker, you have quicker, faster gravy. So we've got some hot milk we're gonna put in there. We're gonna let that reduce down.
Makes it thicker, quicker.
So while Mr. AZ is finishing those eggs, I'm gonna take our gravy over here to these biscuits that we've already prepared.
You want this one split for you?
Yeah, you wanna do that?
Sure.
After it's done, I do like to take a few extra knobs of butter and just
it almost sings out for
with those in there.
It calls for it.
You know what's cool is you can all go home and cook with some soul because Justin brought a copy of the book for everyone.
Thank you, Rachel.
This is gorgeous. Just gorgeous, Justin. Thank you, Chef. It's gorgeous.
One more recipe from the book are these pickled Fresnos. Yep. We did some pickled Fresno peppers on there just to get some acidity to cut through all that richness.